Everyone needs to take this very seriously. This has to do with our Second Amendment rights being stripped away from us a little bit more. If you don't know what's going on in this country and all the rights we've been losing lately, you need to start educating yourself big time. If you think this particular topic is not important to you, I'm sorry if I'm talking quickly. I have a lot of information to go over. Because you don't carry a gun, don't want a gun, whatever. One day this will affect you. This is your Second Amendment. This is the Constitution. This will affect you at some point.
You now, damn it, it's going to affect your children, your grandchildren, their children, and so on.
NRA and NAGR are currently fighting to keep our rights. We need to do something to do so as well. Now let me stop for a second, because people are getting misinformation. The arms trade treaty that's going on right now from the 2nd to the 27th of July is basically mostly military related. The small arms treaty is going to be from August 27th to September 7th, 2012. This is the treaty that is going to destroy our Second Amendment if it is passed by the Senate. So let me go back to the arms trade treaty right now, because that's what everybody's talking about and is totally misinformed about. Let me give you some background. There are 193 members of the UN. The main purpose of this treaty was to put restrictions in place to prevent trafficking of arms from one country to another during conflict. That's how it was originally worded in mainstream media for a long time, pushing statements like, one person dies every minute somewhere in the world as a result of armed violence. That's just ridiculous. I mean, this makes people think it's a great treaty, it's a good thing, we're saving lives, but that's just total ignorance. I know I could probably find a statistic of people dying every day about something else too.
Oh, people, you wanted another fact? Great, I got one for you. Car crash statistics. There were nearly 6,420,000 car accidents in the United States in 2005. The financial cost of these crashes is more than $230 billion. 2.9 million people were injured and 42,636 people killed. About 115 people die every day in a vehicle crash in the United States. One death about every 13 minutes. So if guns are so bad, we should ban cars too.
What this shows me is that the mainstream media is doing its job and will continue to brainwash people. I haven't heard a word by any conventional United States news station regarding the consequences or impact of either one of these treaties on our Second Amendment. The idea of creating such a treaty traces back quite a few years. So I'm going to stick on the first treaty. Is basically talking about the global trade in weapons such as warships, battle tankers, fighter jets, machine guns, basically international arms that are used for war, which, by the way, I think all the wars we're going to, as far as the U.S., are unconstitutional, but that's personal opinion. I support our troops 100%, but we need to bring them home. This includes export, re-export, temporary transfer, transit, leases, loans, gifts. It goes on and on and on. This will affect our military personnel. Now, something to note. Once this treaty, the Arms Trade Treaty, has been finalized, the defense policy and military holdings refers to the guns, tanks, ships, helicopters, whatever, will be so transparent that every country's military holdings will be known worldwide by everybody. This is my interpretation of legal jargon that I read in a portion of this treaty. Now, some of you might ask yourself, how are they going to create such a large database? This is so late in the game. This is ridiculous. And I said the same thing until about, 12, 14 hours ago. This is how long I've been working on this video. And I happened to come across a link basically by accident. And here it is. They've already created it. It goes back to the year 1992. And if you actually sit here and play with this for a little while, I did for 2 seconds, you can, by looking at the numbers, it is totally incorrect. So they do not have their shit together. But you can hover over United States and see how many imports go out to where they go. Brazil does the same thing. Russia does a shitload. Australia does more than I thought. And there's South Africa that does more than I thought. Then there's a bunch of these little countries that they have no data on, and you know that they're sending arms to places, and you know that even if this was to be put in place, they're going to be underground everything just like there is now. I really think this is just totally absurd to think that this is going to make a difference. I mean, all it does is put this in place, and then more information that I read under the actual treaty itself was talking about how, you know, if someone is accused of selling arms to somebody, if one country is accused of selling arms to another country and they deny it, they will come together peacefully and come to a resolution. What the hell is that about? That is ridiculous. Everything is about peace in this country, and the UN should be, we should not be in the UN. This is ridiculous. We are sticking our nose where it doesn't belong. Alright, I'm staying back. I'm getting back on to what we need to talk about with our Second Amendment here. The purpose of this video was to inform you of the current 2 treaties that are being discussed and how they'll affect our Second Amendment and what you can do about it now and how. There are 3 links that are important that you need to know about. The first link is to going to U.S. Senator Rand Paul, Sign the Firearms Sovereignty Survey. This is about small arms treaty that will be coming up in August. 4 questions. Fill out your name, all this stuff, self-explanatory, submit, do it today. The next one is trying to locate your congressman. Click on Members of Congress, put in your information, it'll shoot up and give you all of your representatives, all of your senators. You can click on it, it's already got a link connected to it, it'll go to their website, it'll give you their office information, their how to email them, their phone number. Personally, I've never called anybody, so I don't know what that does, but I have emailed. Now, if you're going to do that, which I hope to God that you do, because anybody who says that our vote doesn't count, that they're not hearing us, you are absolutely right now. Because you know how many of us they're hearing? Maybe a few thousand. There are over 300 million people in this country, and they're only hearing from a few thousand. We are expecting our government to be in our best interest. Have you seen what they've done to us in the past couple years? Have you seen what they've done to us since 9/11? The Patriot Act, NDAA. Now McCain's coming out with another internet restriction, privacy issue. There was SOPA, PIPA, all this stuff's going on, and almost everyone I know knows nothing about this stuff. I am up on this stuff. I will subscribe to me, and I will start continuing to do this stuff because I want my country back. Personally, I do not like Obama, but he is the one pushing for this stuff to be signed by the end of the year. I don't know how Romney feels about it. He's never said anything. He's a flip-flopper. I don't like him. Personally, I'm a supporter of Ron Paul, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, the third link is to tell you or show you how to make an intelligent, informative letter to a congressman or a representative. It is super important that you read this before you do anything, because if you have incorrect grammar, you're threatening them, you don't know what you're talking about, you're uneducated, you're going off topic, I mean, they'll just look at your letter and throw the hell away. I mean, they're not going to look at you and know anything, look at you at all. They're just going to ditch it. You need to be taken serious and not dismissed. So that's huge, all right?
What you want to do here is state, if you want my vote, then vote the way we want you to vote. Do not ratify this stupid agreement with the UN. Do not take away our rights.
Now, for the Second Amendment that we need to discuss is actually the small arms. That's the major one that's going to affect us.
People say, well, what are small arms? Go into your closet, go into your gun cabinet, whatever, dig out a pistol or a rifle. Guess what, folks? Those are your small arms, the ones they're going to try to take away. First, they're going to make it illegal to buy them, so the ones you've got are fine. Then they'll do like they did in Canada. They literally came in and confiscated every single solitary small weapon. All of them. There are none anymore in Canada. Not even collector's items. They literally melted them down. Think about it, people. They're trying to take away your gun.
The important information everyone is going to be blindsided by regarding the Second Amendment if they sit on their ass and do nothing but lock and load is the following. If this treaty is passed by the UN and ratified, keyword ratified, by the US Senate, the UN's Small Arms Treaty will force national governments to do the following. I have broken them down into 4 things. 1. Create an international gun registry base known as United Nations of Conventional Arms.
This is a registry of who owns the guns, people. They're going to know exactly who owns the guns. So when they come in, think of the movie Red Dawn. They went to the gun shops and they found all the registered gun owners and they herded them all into camps. Think FEMA camp, folks.
Setting the stage for full gun scale confiscation. Anyone who has purchased firearms from a dealer knows that if it gets registered at point of sale or ever, it goes to the FBI. Now it will be recorded here in the US, but it will also go on an international level, and God knows where our personal information is going to be going. Number 2, enact tougher licensing requirements, making law-abiding citizens cut through even more bureaucratic red tape just to own a firearm legally.
Over in England now, you have to be licensed to own a shotgun. That means that if they don't want you to have one, they just don't give you a license. No license, no gun. They're taking away your rights, folks. Think about it.
I haven't figured out what exactly those hoops you need to jump through in order to get to this point in time. If anybody knows, please post, let me know. Everything is focusing on this arms trade treaty right now, so not much is going out about this small arms thing because people are misunderstanding the two. Both are going to affect our Second Amendment. Do not misunderstand me. But the small arms treaty will destroy our Second Amendment. Number 4, ban the trade, sale, and private ownership of all semi-automatic weapons.
For the concept, semi-automatic. Real simple. Click, bang, 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 until it runs out of bullets, like a Glock. If it's got an automatic reload thing, it's a semi-automatic. They're talking about banning these people. That means that you'll only be allowed to own a revolver. What? 4 to 7 shots. Maximum. A revolver is the one with the little chamber that goes around like you see in the old Western movies. The semi-automatics they're trying to ban are basically what the police carry now, like a Glock. If you're not sure what a Glock is, fucking Google it!
That, my friends, is how you slash a United States constitutional amendment. Basically, the whole concept of these negotiations being domestically enforced in the United States is unconstitutional as far as I'm concerned. I would like to reference where it is in the treaty. It's actually in the Arms Trade Treaty, which I would believe would also be in the Small Arms Trade Treaty because it would just be logical. I'm going to reference where it ensures each country, it's called state or party as it's referred to, states its obligation of government agencies to enforce this treaty, thus creating new laws of the land. It's under the report of Preparatory Committee of United Nations Conference on Arms, Trade, and Treaty. I had this site up, my computer crashed, it pissed me off, I can't find the site anymore. It's under something that says paperwork you need to know, or information you need to know, and it doesn't even list it normally. It just says something A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you have to click on these little links and read like hundreds of pages of stuff. I happen to run across it. So it's the Report of Preparatory Committee for the United Nations of the Arms Trade Treaty. Section C, Enforcement, Paragraph 1. Each state party shall adopt legislation or other appropriate measures, including appropriate law enforcement and judicial mechanisms to ensure its ability to enforce domestically the obligations of this treaty and to prohibit the transfer of arms from any location under the state's jurisdiction and control unless otherwise in accordance with the treaty.
Now get this, folks. The way I understand that to read, that will eliminate the ability to transport any form of weapon across state lines. That means that unless you've got a gun manufacturing shop in your state, You won't be able to import a gun into your state and buy it from any other state.
Now, doesn't that sound fantastic and sounds very generic, which could easily go over to this small arms treaty? There it is, folks, black and white. It is in there. I promise you. I'm not making that stuff up. Now, there is much more that entails in these treaties. If you'd like to invest more, I have a direct link below of the actual UN Arms Trade Treaty site. Again, I don't even know if it's again. I'm so tired. I do not by any means endorse going out and start stockpiling firearms or ammo. Do not let this sit on your back burner. The time is to act now, not after the treaties have been signed by the UN. By then, you'll literally have to protest in front of a government building in DC for your voice to be heard, and we all know how well that will go over. Share this video everywhere you can, and be sure to make sure the links go with it. Post it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you can possibly post it. I don't personally go on a lot of the other websites, so if the links on the bottom don't carry over or whatever, and it doesn't actually go to a YouTube site and it just brings a video, I don't know how that works. Just make sure they get the links as well. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, concerns, post a comment. I'll address them as much as I can. If you have more information regarding this stuff, please post it as well. People are being misinformed about what's going on between the Arms Trade Treaty and the Small Arms Treaty that will be taking place in August and September. Again, thank you for listening. Post this everywhere you can and let people know the truth and that our Second Amendment is at stake, and we will lose more constitutional rights than we already have, which the constitutional rights we already have basically tied our hands behind our back. And their great quote that is from a great man in history: if the people fear the government, there's tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. We need to start standing up for our rights. Send this video out wherever you can. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thomas Jefferson said, all tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent. Well, we're not remaining silent. If you wish to not remain silent, spread this video, spread the links, spread the word, tell everyone. You're about to lose your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Once you lose the right to keep and bear arms and they come take them away, what's to stop them from simply taking all your other rights? Think about it, people.